So I'm going to go ahead and log in here, and then we'll walk through, and I'll try to explain. Please stop me at any point if you have any questions or something isn't clear, and I'll try to clarify it at that moment. For this demonstration, I prepared a 9.2 menu page that completes the order to cash process. We'll start from a sales order using standard sales order entry application. And we'll walk through each of the steps that are typical in an order to cash process, from warehouse picking to shipment confirmation of the products, and then to what we call settlement or capturing of funds, which normally occurs after shipment confirmation because we've confirmed the products, we've confirmed any additions in cost line items, such as maybe freight or repricing of the order, or if a product isn't shippable at the moment. All of that is taken into consideration. That's why we're going to go ahead and settle and capture those funds against the original authorization that was done at order entry after shipment confirmation. Then we'll go ahead and run the invoice in JD Edwards, a standard program in Edwards. We'll do the sales update, which will generate the customer ledger inquiry, the general ledger information, and all of the related sales information. We'll go ahead and post that, and then we'll do what's called the payment posting program. And this takes all of the settlements and the captures and automatically applies them to the AR invoice to clear off that AR invoice. And then after that, we'll run through what's called the reconciliation of payment, which normally comes in the next day from your processor through a wire transfer. So this is the first scenario we'll walk through, and as part of this scenario, we'll see a couple of different options in order to gain an authorization. And the key here is gaining that authorization up front during order entry so that you know that you have a valid authorization as part of the order. Here I'm going ahead and enter in a PO number for this order, whatever that customer has. And what designates a credit card payment in JD Edwards and for SmarterCommerce is a specific payment instrument that you designate as a credit card payment to the order. This lets JD Edwards know that this customer is desiring to pay with a credit card, and also lets SmarterCommerce know that you want to pay with a credit card in order to capture the authorization as part of the order entry. Now, it's important to note that the payment instrument can default in automatically from the customer master if so desired. So if a customer typically pays with credit card, they can go through and set that up in the customer master. So now that we have the order header and we've marked it as a credit card order, we'll move over to the line order, line detail portion to enter in the products that customer is desiring to buy, whatever that is. Once he's filled out all of the order lines, he's going to go ahead and normally hit submit and enter new, or submit and close. Either one, because this is a credit card designated order based on the payment instrument, it's going to drive us to a new application. This application is delivered with our solution. As you can see, to the Enterprise One user, it looks the same and feels the same as any other application because it's built out with the Enterprise One tool set, so that to the user, they can feel comfortable in what they're doing and finalizing this transaction. Here you have your customer number, you have your address information for associated to the billing address of the credit card if you want to do address verification services. Also on this screen, you'll see that it defaulted in a credit card number ending in 4 ones. This is a demonstration credit card. The credit card number is actually tokenized within your JD Edwards, but we allow for credit cards on file for customers if you desire to use that. The card, again, is tokenized, and what's stored locally within your servers is a token and the last 4 digits of the credit card, which are allowed per PCI for PC to identify the card number. The actual credit card itself is stored out in the payment gateway in a token fashion to be used as part of the transaction if so desired. So this is one option that you have, is to authorize this order against a credit card on file by using this button here. This will go out and authorize for the funds of this order against that card on file. So that's one option as part of the order entry. Another option is to authorize with a new credit card, and that's for customers that maybe don't have cards on file with you or don't feel like using one of those credit cards, but rather is wanting to dictate over the phone the credit card number while they're still on the phone with the salesperson. You'll notice over to the right a running total of what needs to be authorized, total amount to authorize here, amount due of the order. This is a running total reading the cache memory of the sales order and all of the information of the lines so that you have a complete order total, including sales tax, well, product, sales tax, and what we call a uplift of the authorization. We added this feature several releases back because we found many customers don't know at the moment of order entry things like shipping amounts or possible add-on charges for handling and packaging. So there's additional costs that could be added in later in the process. So we allow, as part of our functionality, to uplift the authorization to cover yourselves for any of those additional costs during repricing or packaging or shipping charges. This is a common practice, and it is fully allowed by the credit card industry to uplift the authorization for a reasonable amount. And you define this within the processing options of the version that you're interacting with. So here we see the total amount to authorize, and then the amount still pending to be authorized. Another feature that we have is if you're going to use this as part of our solution, is the capability to charge what's called a surcharge. This is a pass-through of the processor fees, normally a percentage of the overall charge. So if you desire to use this feature, you would charge the customer an additional charge for the processor fees that your processor charges you. And that way you can collect and pass through those fees if the customer desires to use a credit card. Again, an optional feature you can turn on or off as part of the processing of the credit card. A couple other things to make note here is the capability of deposits. Deposits are a capability that we've included again several releases back that allow you to make an upfront deposit on a long manufacturing order or assemble to order or engineer to order, where it's going to take many months and you want to make sure that you're covering yourself. You can set up a deposit as part of the order entry and even set up an installment plan where it automatically charges the credit card maybe every 30 days, a certain percent of the order. So those are some of the capabilities that you have with our solution. Now, for this order, we're going to keep it simple. And we're going to assume that the customer is on the phone and they're going to dictate the credit card to me. So I'm going to take this option here, authorize with a new card, and that's going to go ahead and pass the user, this being the salesperson or the customer service entry person, over to our pay cloud. It's here where the salesperson, while the customer's on the phone, they would read off the credit card and they would enter that card into the hosted payment page that you're seeing here on your screen. This avoids any credit card information passing through your networks. So they would do a pop out to our hosted payment pages and to our pay cloud, and they would enter in the information related to that card, being the card number, the expiration date, and the card security code. Once they've entered this information, you see here my order number, who the customer is, and the amount that we're authorizing on this order. So here the customer would, or the salesperson would go ahead and hit verify, and that would validate the amount against the card. And when everything is successful, it allows the user then to go ahead and return back to JD Edwards and pull back the token associated to that authorization by clicking on the update info button. So what just happened there, we established a one-time secure connection between your environment, JD Edwards, out to our Pay Cloud for that specific call center representative. And they're entered in the information in the Pay Cloud outside of your entire system. And then once they validated there and they closed and they returned to JD Edwards through that same secure connection, they hit that update info button to pull back the token and record the authorization as you're seeing here back in your JD Edwards environment, along with obviously the reference token for the transaction. Once we have this authorization, now we can continue through and complete the order. So now we've saved an order in the system. It's ready to be processed, picked, packed, and shipped, and then walk through the rest of the order process.